Hi everyone, thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to my environmental studies capstone project. Today I'm presenting on how technology can support environmental literacy. So what is environmental literacy? It is the level of an individual's understanding, skills, and motivation towards environmentally conscious decisions. And the most common components of most frameworks include cognitive skills, affect, ecological understanding, sociopolitical knowledge, and environmentally responsible behaviors. A poor understanding of human-nature interactions is a barrier towards environmental activism. As our world becomes increasingly digitized, it's important for environmental thinkers to use technology to their benefit. Approximately 50% of the world's population owns a smartphone. And as we speak, we're facilitating an event like an online symposium in the comfort of our own homes. Historically, technology and the environment has been seen as binary, most notably causing nature deficit disorder resulting from spending less time outdoors. But technology also has the potential of increasing human-nature interactions if used effectively. This leads me to my research question, which is how can current technologies be used and improved to enhance environmental literacy? So to answer my question, I interned at the Stillwaters Environmental Center in Kingston, Washington, where I digitized water quality data, created a geodatabase, and I provided recommendations on data management by observing citizen science monitoring. So this image shows a volunteer, Cindy, collecting data in the salt marsh, and this is basically citizen science in action. I also created a GIS training manual, which was accompanied by a workshop to train staff and volunteers on the ArcGIS software. And I supported my real-world experience with a literature review of the current state of environmental informatics, and I also surveyed 80 collegiate students on their interactions with both technology and the environment. So my results focused on two common technological tools that are used by environmental organizations, which are citizen science and geographic information systems. So citizen science is a data collection tool used by scientists to engage members of the public and community. And recently there's been a new wave of citizen cyber science, which facilitates this research on online platforms, the most prominent one being zooniverse.org, whose QR code is shown here. Similar to the picture of Cindy that I showed earlier, citizen cyber science collection can just look like you out in the world. Since these projects have volunteers with a range of environmental literacy, a high quantity of low quality data is collected. And this is best for less complicated data collection, many which are related to biodiversity projects. And Zooniverse has approximately 1/3 of their projects being related to biodiversity. So geographic information systems are computer-based systems for data collection, management, and storage, and organizations primarily use this for mapping. So if you're confused about the relationship between citizen science and citizen cyber science with geographic information systems, do not fret because they're quite interconnected. So often citizen cyber scientists use their crowdsourced data in a GIS to spatially display their results. So this diagram towards the bottom in the middle shows the 5 components of a GIS, and these are useful in describing environmental informatics as a whole. The first and most important component is data, which is taken from the real world and then presented digitally in the form of a map usually. And data collection can usually help environmental literacy through cognitive skill building in both the outdoor and indoor settings. In the outdoors, this may look like you taking images, observations, and recording numerical values. And indoors, this may be using a GIS software and presentation making, Since GIS facilitates multi-dimensional spatial analysis, it helps develop ecological and socio-political knowledge, which are other key components of environmental literacy. So hardware and software are required to facilitate these projects, and not only can this be expensive sometimes, geospatial data requires a lot of storage and space, so this can be a big barrier. Another barrier is software compatibility on various operating systems. For example, if you're using an app on your phone, not all the time are they compatible to both iOS and Android. And the final components are methods, which are used to facilitate this research, and these are done by people like you and me. And basically, technologies need to be easy to use for more people to get involved. And this is a huge emphasis for citizen science volunteers so that they can get more involved in research. And citizen cyber science projects are recruiting and retaining volunteers through social media recognition, gamification, and even monetary rewards, which sounds great. So the biggest way that my research shows how environmental informatics and these tools can be improved is by bringing people and methods together. And this can be done through technical expertise in the form of individuals, resources, and workshops. This is primarily the reason why I created a GIS manual and workshop for my internship. And technical expertise in the environmental field can result in higher volumes of applications, platforms, and opportunities for environmental literacy building. Although I have some technical expertise regarding GIS, I don't have the skills to create, let's say, a citizen science, cyber science platform. So this is where my survey comes into play. So my survey results showed that students that are studying more technical fields related to like computer science, engineering, they have a higher use of technology in their academics, and they're more computer proficient. However, they also showed lesser interactions with the environment. So this graph shows the level of technological use, which is shown in purple, and the percentage of surveyed students who had taken a class related to sustainability, which is in pink. This is shown by academic discipline. The most glaring result is that students who have the highest technical expertise have the lowest percentage of students who have taken a class on sustainability or the environment. This disconnect is a crucial gap in the development of this field, since people with a higher technical expertise are not involved with environmentally related content and understanding. Another glaring result was that 98% of students said that technology was a major part of their academics, but only 21% said that technology was highly effective in their learning. Therefore, we should ask ourselves, should technology be used to advance our knowledge? Things like procrastination and distractions come with using technology, and therefore it might be more detrimental than it is useful. However, when used strategically, technology can be effectively used by individuals of all proficiencies to advance environmental communication, knowledge, and literacy. If you want to get involved with citizen cyber science projects, you can explore the citizen science platforms such as Zooniverse, but there are plenty more, such as iSpot and iNaturalist. More broadly, individuals with a high level of technical expertise need to be more immersed in environmental content in order to progress environmental informatics as a field. Since this is a relatively new field, there is very little research on the explicit effect of technology on accessibility, on knowledge retention, and behavioral changes. So these are all areas that need to be explored. Although technology can be used effectively, nowadays it's important to give ourselves a break from technology. A lot of students said that podcasts, movies, documentaries are ways that they'd like to learn more about environmental content, but it's also important to be conscious about how much technology you're consuming, especially nowadays with all the crazy things that are happening in the world. If you do want some recommendations on my favorite podcasts, movies, documentaries, please let me know. With that being said, I'd like to acknowledge Melissa Fleming and Jolene Palmer from the Stillwaters Environmental Center, and Drew Gorman-Lewis for supporting my capstone work. I'd also like to thank all my professors, including P. Sean McDonald, and all of my classmates for a very rich and memorable college experience. Finally, I'd like to thank my parents, my brother, and my friends for all of your support for the last 4 years, especially through my mood swings. And if you have any questions about my research, please feel free to contact me through any platform, or you can tweet at me at Pranav Bhardwaj_, which is towards the top of my poster. Thank you so much and take care of yourselves.